And good evening. Welcome to Seattle, where I'm coming to you from inside the Capitol Hill organized protest shop, CHOP, previously known as CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Outside the, as I flip the camera around, the abandoned Seattle Police Department East Precinct. We're at the corner of 12th and Pine, East Pine and 12th Avenue, here in Seattle, in the Capitol Hill district, which has been the site of this so-called autonomous zone for the past few weeks. And we're going to head down right now to Cal Anderson Park, where there is a gathering and there are speeches being delivered at this moment. And I see people are tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Yes, I've made my way up the coast from Los Angeles to Seattle, and I've arrived here just in time as the mayor of Seattle is making the announcement that the city intends to dismantle the CHOP, the autonomous zone, and restore control of that police precinct to the Seattle Police Department. Ready to pop on really quickly? I'm joined this evening by Annabelle Osorio.
Hello.
Who is tagging along with me on this journey through the CHOP here in Seattle. As I flip the camera around, and different rules here, maybe not entirely different than LA, but I'm gonna try my best to keep the camera away from people who don't want to be filmed. This is 11th, we're at 11th and Pine, where they also have a Black Lives Matter sign, street sign. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. They got a couple of these Black Lives Matter street signs along Pine here in the CHOP in Seattle's Capitol Hill district. And I'm going to take you now over to Cal Anderson Park, where at least moments ago speeches were being delivered. I don't know if they still are. Let's take a look. There are plenty of people gathered here at Cal Anderson Park, which has been used as a meeting point and a place for announcements and speeches and organization here in the CHOP. We're walking into some sun. You can see there's a synthetic turf baseball field here at the park. And I'm going to try to give you an angle where I'm not right up in front of people, but at the same time, you'll be able to hear what the speakers are saying. Can you plug this? No, plug.
We already know that they may not give us the opportunity to have that.
All right, good. We're charging.
But we have this. We have that space all the way to the very end.
Let me know if you guys can hear the speakers talking right now.
And if they want, they can. But we're going to be here every day to meet up, to march, to talk. What are they going to do to us if we are peaceful? Tell me.
Who's on first? I don't know. Who's on second? Okay, if you can hear the speaker, then that's good. Another synthetic turf diamond right over here. I do. I want to get come from behind this person.
Next to the site, so loud.
Okay.
You're going to see, you're being scared that we're not reacting how they want us to do. They want us to react. We're not going to react how they want us to react. We show them that we have a head on our shoulders. And that we can work together.
Alright.
That's all I have to say. My name is Anna, everyone's speaking. What I'm going to say.
Okay, everyone, they are taking down every sign.
Again, guys, let me know if you can hear the
They're
speakers.
taking everything down that we spent hours building. Everything on the street is being put away. Everyone's leaving for what? Because they might come back, and you guys want to march and then come back, everyone's going to get it's an opportunity to keep them scared. And we shouldn't even be, why are we on the grass? Why aren't we sitting up, holding up the street? I feel like everyone should be their tents on the street, living on the street, because who do the streets belong to? Us. Not the grass, not a fucking field, not a park. The streets that they're trying to take away from us literally right now. I've been here since day one. I was shot with a fucking rubber bullet, tear gas, personally attacked by a cop for no reason, just for standing there. There was no protesters even near me attacking me for what reason.
Lots and lots of speakers
And
delivering speeches
we were
here at
peaceful.
Cal Anderson
The
Park.
protest did start out peaceful. It wasn't just automatically violent. It was only violent when they started attacking us for just being there, for just living. For what reason? That's why we were violent. For everyone that wants to watch the news and believe all that bullshit that they're saying, it's not real. It's not real. They want to make it their own story. They want to change it to their own narrative. They want to laugh at us and treat us like a joke. I don't take this as a joke. At all. The young man who got shot the other day, why did that happen? It's actually kind of weird because the other guy who got shot actually hit me hours before that even happened. Why? Who is my enemy? I'm confused. I'm honestly confused. Yes, I'm a light skin, but I'm still black at the end of the day. People still look at me and they say she's black. So, at the end of the day, my light skin is, yes, a privilege, but not a very big one. I know everyone just wants to be peaceful, but at the end of the day, we've been treating this like a party for like the past week. There's a rave station. Why do we need a rave station at a protest? Like, this isn't a rave, this isn't a party. This at first was actually a movement. I came here the first week and was like, damn, I felt power. Now I don't feel any power. I actually do think that this is a joke. At first it definitely wasn't. They literally set this whole street on like fire with tear gas.
You're welcome.
People
Thank you
were
for tuning
literally
in.
dying. There's one girl who died from inhaling too much tear gas. I don't know if you guys know about that. I might be someone else, but I know for a fact that someone definitely did die from tear gas inhalation. But anyways, we cannot march away from here. They are trying to direct our views somewhere else when it needs to be here. Not on this field of grass, but on the streets. I'm tired of seeing everyone just sitting here having like a good time. Like, yeah, I get that we can enjoy some aspects of this, but not every day. We actually have to put in some action and do something about something. Change does not happen overnight. Trump wants to call us lazy. Does this look lazy? We've been out here every single day. That's not lazy. In other cities, states, they're doing a lot more than what we're doing here, but we're still doing something. Right now, I don't know what the fuck that is. A week ago, I could have told you, but I want to have that same view right now. And when they come here, because they're going to come, don't run. I know a lot of you guys are going to run, be scared. I'm scared. To be honest, I'm nervous. But we need to fight for justice. And that's going to happen very soon. So please don't be scared. We are more powerful with numbers. So please enjoy your time, but please actually do something.
Thank you. So I was just talking to my friend over here who was giving me a great suggestion for something we could try out tonight. And he said we could form basically a human ball or chain right here at the center of this field, okay? This doesn't mean that the police are coming necessarily. We don't know what they're gonna do. So what happens is we could treat this as a drill. Whether they come or not,
Hi, Vanessa.
we'll be here, we'll be linking arms, we'll be standing against them, and let the cameras do the rest. If they want to use violence, we'll be here as a human chain together. Is that okay with everyone? Let me see thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Precinct or field? It's up to you. I'm down with precinct. Let's do it then. All right, can we set a time for this? Now? You guys want to do it now? Anyone else now? All right, let's go.
Man, I literally hate using a mic, but I want to ground all of us in this, in genuinely not just this moment, but this whole movement that we've been going through, right? And this is going to sound much more like a conversation than a speech. The reason why we started marching to begin with was to stop police injustice and brutality, to stop black lives from dying. We stand here now yards from a young black man who was shot just days ago. Now, while there's some controversy as to how he passed, one thing that we know with absolute vehement energy, what we do understand is that it was the SPD who stopped medical from getting here. The third time in which they stopped from getting here. What I would suggest, the reason why we fight is not for these buildings, it's not for this space. Again, it's to end this police injustice. If we do wish, feel free to clap. If we do wish to secure the precinct and this space as a bargaining chip, that makes sense. But it is not to occupy, it is not to turn into a rec center. It's so that we can end police justice, end police injustice. All right? We have to keep being disruptive any way we can. Not just occupying, but also, again, the marches are very, very important, and I want to make sure that you understand that the marches are important. We've been marching every day, stopping the complete highway. Every day. So that not just Mayor Durkin knows, but that the governor knows, that the nation knows that we will not stand for this. If we want to occupy the space, that's fine, but to an end. All right? Never forget that. We are here to stop police injustice, stop police brutality, and stop black lives from dying. Yeah, that's honestly it. Like, again, it's not really a speech. It's we need to recognize it's to an end. Mayor Durkin actually says she's not going to defund the SPD, and that's why we're marching today. We're going to go onto the highway, we're going to stop the highway for a bit, we're going to protect the precinct, we're going to do all of it. We're going to keep disrupting until we get what we need, all right? No rec center. We're talking about stopping police injustice, stopping police brutality, all right? Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Kareem. I am one of the founding workers of that white tent over there, the hospitality center. The theory about that is that anything you guys need at any point during this mission, since the very first days, you can kind of go over there and grab what you need. Medical supplies, food, water, a talk, consolidation of efforts you would like to bring to this movement whatsoever. I've been here for about good 1.5, 2 weeks, and so with that statement, I could literally say I've heard and felt it all. wherever you think you are zone-wise, and no matter what you do for this movement, I want you to know that you are standing on a war zone. Whether it's a fucking park, the street, or up the street, you have witnessed people disenfranchise your entire existence, and then the moment they stand up, they got a foot on their fucking neck from everything they've been through. Every life that has ever been fought for, black lives have probably been the one marginalized. So then when motherfuckers are here and you realize that it's all people, yeah, of course you're gonna witness opposition. In every capacity, it's been a daily thing. Some people were born into such a fucked up system. So one of these details is that in this context, through the lives that have literally been laid down, black lives are here for you. So I hope we fucking matter. And in these details, when we stand up to corporation, we don't really have shit to say. When we do anything, that's our fucking right. Because we can do it so maintaining the very thing we fucking built. On some bullshit. Even still, we stand here together, at least with the concept that these fucking things matter. Motherfuckers have died, been raped, killed, tortured, manipulated, lied to. Half the time this shit ain't different. Y'all wanna call this shit Coachella? It happens there too. I wanna let y'all know one crucial detail. Everything fucking matters. Your fucking attitudes and details to the people around you affect the people around you. The intensity will never die. I have that weird superpower where I get to go all, crazy yell mode, and then I can keep it pretty civil. The hospitality tent, again, is one of those services that more or less through this entire fight, for every person that's been fighting, even that goddamn tent has been disenfranchised 4 different times since being here. We moved 4 different times. So that means your own government has literally required us to, in our hospitality nature, pretty much get ruled over by the things that we would need to provide you guys with anything throughout this entire ordeal. We've been shifted 4 different times. Now we just hope to give you guys a space to literally breathe, be able to consolidate energies, and as you stay and occupy this area, upon the ill will of governments around you, stay together with any consolidated effort you can so we can win this fight, so it's not more of a zone, it's America for once. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Michael. I've been out here for like 18 to 19 days just to support the black community because I feel their pain. I feel how you all feel out here. I've been homeless for 5 years. I'm still pushing on. We all should push on too. So tonight, if they do come, we gotta stay strong because they are not gonna be able to push down strong buildings if we all act like that strong building. That's all I gotta say. Hey yo, I don't want to get my real name here, but I just want to say that this space wasn't built by people being scared. It wasn't built by people being violent. We will continue to be peaceful, but we will not be passive. I don't think they're coming. I think what's going on is that Carmen Best is embarrassed as hell because she thought we were going to burn that bitch down, and all we did was plant gardens and feed people. Don't let them take this from you out of fear. They're spreading rumors right now because they want to see how many people they can spread out of here. Don't fall for that. Continue to be peaceful, but do not be passive. Stand your ground.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! No duty to retreat, baby! No duty to retreat.
What time is it?
Hey, class!
Stay. 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 Stay.
I just want to say that there is a news reporter named Bridget Parkhill here, and she's from Como 4, and she is trying to spread fear into your hearts. We are staying, Riot Kitchens is staying, the No Cop Coop, the Black Art Co-op is staying, we are staying, holding our ground. We hope you show up. Do not let the fear that this woman is trying to instill in you deter you from why we are really here. Black Lives Matter. George Floyd. Remember this.
Remember that kid in that car? And they were driving backwards and they got shot. They were not armed. There was no ill intent except to get the fuck out of there. Stay. All that is done. Stay. This is our home. This is our neighborhood. This is our community. And I love you all. And we got a man, an elder carrying the sign. And I believe we need to hear his words.
Yes, I'm Honorable Michael Fuller, who I George, Private Attorney General, jurisdiction. Black Lives Matter, but this is not the changes or the dreams Black Lives Matter can believe in. Martin Luther King died August 16, 1967. Where do we go from here? Now, August 16, 2020, where do we go from here? August 25th, 1619, August 25th, 2019, 400 years enslavement by the European settlers. President Harry Truman, 1948, stated, how many times does a person have to be hit over the head before they realize who's hit? And the open violation of extraordinary abuse, extraordinary circumstances, reckless misconduct, and wanton misconduct, and irreparable injury and harm to Black Lives Matter. This is not the changes or dreams we could believe in. Violation of RCW 2.04.080. Your oath to office in RCW 2.24020. Your oath in RCW 2.48.210. Your oath on admission and RCW 49.
Hey, John Don, thanks for tuning in.
RCW 98.36080, malicious harassment. RCW 42.2020, activities incompatible with public duties. RCW 49.60030, freedom from discrimination. RCW 59.18020, right to liberty and obligation in good faith to impose. And extraordinary abuse by the 41st President George H.W. Bush, who signed in the Law to America with Disability Act, July 26, 1990, and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, and violation of the Old American Act, July 14, 1965, that was signed by President Lyndon Johnson.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, guys, so remember when we said we're all going to go over to the precinct from a human chain? Can anyone hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Cool. All All right. So these guys are saying here they need a plug, an audio plug. If anyone knows anyone who has something like that, so we can a generator plug to see if
All right, it
we can
appears
move this stuff
that
over there.
a
Please
portion
come
of the
and talk
crowd
to
is
us.
going to
Please
head over
talk to your
to the
friends.
Seattle Police Department East
So we're
Precinct
gonna be moving
building,
everything over there to the
which
Precinct
is
building
about a
now.
block and a half
Anyone who
this
wants to go
direction
over
where I
and spend
started the
space over
stream.
there, please join us. Thank you.
Let's see how many people need to move over
Hey,
there.
y'all, it's time to
If a
march
large
down
crowd
Road and Precinct.
If a large
Please
crowd
sit
heads
down.
over there,
Come
I'm
on
going to try to
now.
film it
Y'all
from a bit of a
ready to go.
distance.
Come on now, time to go, y'all. Go.
I've got
Appreciate-
plenty of battery. Battery's
Go,
not the
fans,
issue.
go.
You mostly miss speeches, John. All right, again, we're at Cal Anderson Park, which has been used as a gathering point, a place to deliver speeches, deliver news and announcements, and for organization of the CHOP community. It appears that the speeches are wrapping up at the moment, and let's see if a crowd heads on over to the East Precinct building, which again is the abandoned Seattle Police Department precinct that's just a block and a half up this way. It's at what, 12th and Pine? Annabelle. I think the precinct is at the corner of 12th and Pine here in the Capitol Hill district of Seattle. I'll give you a little bit of a look as people head on out of the park. Again, there are a couple baseball diamonds and a soccer field on artificial turf here at Cal Anderson Park, as well as tents set up, including the CHOP hospitality tent that you can see and that was mentioned at least a couple times during the speeches. And I think we're gonna wind our way around. You ready to go? I'm talking to Annabelle, by the way. You wanna pop in really quickly?
Hey!
Yeah,
So,
plug-
yeah. I think I changed my channel name to Romika Annabelle. So,
All right. So what have you seen so far?
so I was basically just filming here, and then I approached, I think those were medic tents or whatever, and they asked me to stop filming.
I don't think we can film at the medic tents.
Yeah, I'm even not sure if that are the medic tents. It looked like a ceremony, people with candles, praying for somebody. And well, there was a girl and said, she doesn't know, she has an accent, they were talking about me, so, they were not angry or whatever. But the feeling when you're around here, it's a little bit weird. No curfew, right?
No, I don't think there's a curfew now. But, so there was a curfew a few weeks back, and thank you very much, Ryan. And I think there's been talk among the protesters of establishing their own informal hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because there have been issues, namely shootings in CHOP over the weekend. But let's give you a little bit more of a look. I'm staring right into the sun. All right, I guess you're staring into the sun too. Trying to get away from the sun. All right, it ducks behind these trees. So yeah, you've got
Let's check out the garden.
a lot of tents here. And
so they are planting here tomatoes and
you're the
basil.
gardening experts.
Yeah, so here you see tomatoes and fresh basil, what they are growing, and lettuce. And they try to create a self-sustainable life. So let's check out what they're having over there.
Hold on a second. I'm hearing both that they're starting a march and that people have gone over to the East Precinct. So it sounds like there are two different activities taking place simultaneously, or I guess two different protest activities. There are all kinds of activities taking place here, and I'm gonna try to figure out whether we should head to the precinct or take a look at this march. But in the meanwhile, Annabelle, let's do maybe 30 seconds more about what you see here with the gardening.
So in the middle of all the tents, they are planting in pots and in the soil. Yeah, mostly vegetables. They are having a huge tool tent in the middle. Let's see what's over there.
Speak up a little bit.
Okay. So here are some dogs running around. And as you can see, they put like, how's the stuff called?
What?
This,
Hay?
Yeah, hay. No, it's not hay, it's the other straw. And they put all this over the soil to protect the plants. And so you can also see like a flower garden here.
Alright, so a lot of tents, a lot of gardening happening here.
Yeah,
Tent and bathroom, community meeting.
and there are already a lot of signs to protect the black lives.
Alright, let's head on over to the precinct. We're gonna walk over to the precinct, see what's happening there. I think the man organizing, maybe leading the march, is walking behind me. Doesn't seem to be a large crowd following him at the moment. And we're gonna head on over to across the street from the abandoned Seattle Police Department East Precinct. Another look at the sports fields here at Cal Anderson Park, where speeches just wrapped up. You can see incomplete barricades, but there are various barricades set up around the CHOP boundaries, and some of them have these CHOP demands on them, which you can also find on the police precinct building. By the way, I have already Instagrammed and tweeted out, well, I guess the tweets are just links to my Instagram photos. I have Instagrammed out photos of the abandoned Seattle Police Department East Precinct building. You can find them on my Instagram at Nomad Journalist, just in case I'm not going to be able to give you a close-up look. By the way, Annabelle, you want to read what this says? George Floyd. I missed some of it.
George Floyd. George Floyd?
Yeah, it looks like George
Black Lives
Floyd
Matter.
forever. Lots of Black Lives Matter signs. There, even as I mentioned a little while ago, yes, that's my Instagram at Nomad Journalist, where I have posted photos of the abandoned police precinct here in the middle of the CHOP. Again, I just posted them there in case I'm not going to be able to show you a close-up. I just arrived today. Seattle's nice thus far. Very nice weather at the moment. And by the way, this is my first time in Seattle. My first time ever in the state of Washington. One of the rare western states that I'd never been to until today. Again, at the various entrances or borders of the shop, you can see these signs that have their demands on them. And wait, is it right here? Yeah, it's right. The precinct's right here. Yeah. So now we're walking on 12th, right? 12th Avenue, I believe it is. Heading for Pine Street, which has, I guess, informally been renamed Black Lives Matter Street. There are these Black Lives Matter street signs that have been erected on Pine here in the Chop, although the Pine Street signs do remain up. We are approaching right over there the precinct. See, let's see what's going on outside the precinct. It is a very artsy area. I think it was an artsy area beforehand, before the Chaz was created, later renamed Chop. So here we are at the corner of East Pine and 12th. And this building right here is the abandoned Seattle Police Department precinct. I just want to stay back here for a little while. It appears more people are gathered here right now than there were an hour ago. Sounds like someone's speaking. Can't tell who. Let's just find a place where it's a nonchalant spot to film. I have escaped Los Angeles. Not permanently, although I don't live in Los Angeles permanently. Here's a look at some of the artwork. And alright, so yes, there are people gathered outside the precinct and someone's talking. I'm pointing the camera down now because plenty of people in this area do not want to be filmed. I am about to show you, alright. So here you can see Seattle Police Department East Precinct, and over police it says people. It's been informally renamed the People's Police Precinct, or People's Police Department, or Seattle People Department East Precinct, and as well it says Fuck 12 and ACAB, as you can see. Likewise on the boarded up precinct.
Yeah, and here the artists are setting up their tents.
Hold on a second. Likewise on the boarded up precinct, you can see the demands. Number 1, defund SPD, the Seattle Police Department, by 50% now. Number 2, fund community restorative justice, housing, healthcare. And number 3, freedom for all protesters. And there's lots more artwork and signs on the boarded up precinct, which has a lot of these demands and signs. Likewise on the other side where people are gathered at the moment, and I'll try to show you some of that. Annabelle, what are some of the signs that you've been noticing here?
So mostly all Black Matters and all cops are bad, and we are all connected, Black Lives Matter, and I see you, I love you, peace, fight for love and justice, hashtag Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe.
All right, let's go around the corner from 12th to Pine, and I'll give you a shot at the boarded up precinct here, and maybe you can listen in.
So what do y'all think about that?
Oh yeah.
Our recommendation for everybody is just going to be that we link arms or hold hands, and as much as the briefing that we can cover.
Can you guys hear what the speaker is saying?
We don't need to get violent with them. We get armed up. That's what happened. Don't be scared. Nothing's gonna happen. You feel me? I'm being asked to remind people that some people would like to march instead of peacefully sit in. You are not too much.
So again, here's the Seattle Police Department East Precinct sign on East Pine. So it appears there's a march coming our direction. So there are marchers now heading up East Pine, passing the gathering outside the precinct, headed for the intersection of East Pine and 12th. And some people will be joining the march, others will be staying outside the precinct. What do you guys think? March or precinct? And there's a chant, "March with us," among the demonstrators who are marching. Let's go take a look at marchers. So I presume you guys can hear the man with the loudspeaker saying some people march, some people stay here. Here being outside the police precinct. Really keep it fair. So I'm not going to show you her face, but there's a woman screaming, "We're stronger in unity, you guys are being little bitches walking away." She's apparently staying at the precinct while, along with many others, is staying at the precinct while the marchers who just walked right by are now headed down 12th Avenue out of the CHOP. Which direction is this? South 5. Is it south? Let's tail the march for a little bit, and then maybe head back to the police station. So they're chanting "Whose streets are streets" as they head out of the CHOP. And as we walk out of the CHOP right now, you can get a little more look. Again, the boarded up police precinct and some of the street art, the tents and booths set up, the porta potties, the barricades. Lots of chalk on 12th Avenue, trailing the protesters marching at the moment, so I'm not going to show you what's written. It looks like the crowd that's marching, as they say, everyone tighten up. It looks like the crowd that's marching is smaller than the crowd that's staying at the precinct. But then again, there are also people walking away from the precinct toward the march. So it looks like the march is growing in numbers. They're gathered right now in the intersection of East Pike and 12th Avenue. They being the marchers. Those outside the precinct remain exactly there. The intersection of Pine and 12th. And, you know, as Annabelle is getting a shot of this, I'll show you this. I think it's a southern entrance to the CHOP. You can see their cars parked in front of a barricade, and then additionally you've got this slow roadwork sign, as well as a welcome to CHOP, Capitol Hill occupied protest, please enjoy your stay. Previously this was CHAZ, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Now it is CHOP, Capitol Hill Organized Protest. The march has paused as I think they wait for more people to arrive. Still at the intersection of East Pike and 12th Avenue, where there's also another little, I wouldn't call it a barricade, but a sign with the demands right here. That's same demand sign as they have elsewhere at the entrance to CHOP. And there's a speech, impromptu speech now.
And you guys being here, it's all me that my life matters. It's all them that my life matters. So every day we're going to do this because they can't do their head, and we're not going to stop until they give us the thing we want. It's that simple. So we're going to move, always steady, together, fight against the other, as one. You guys ready? Yeah! Let's go!
Let's trail this march for a little while, see what happens. And the chant begins, fuck you, SPD. SPD being Seattle Police Department. They're heading on East Pike. I think, this is west, right? I think. Are you sure? Sorry, I mean, it's a couple Californians here who don't know their directions, but they're marching on Pike away from 12th. Maybe some of the commenters will orient me during this broadcast. There is a man on the loudspeaker at the front of the march, and I'll try to let you guys listen in. So we're going west on East Pike. One block down that way is Cal Anderson Park. We're just outside the CHOP right now. I guess just south of the CHOP. Oh, someone's saying we're walking northwest. All right. might be the case. Probably is. You know better than me. Need a little support from this vehicle. Just drove off after giving a few honks to the crowd. I should note that, as some of you might have heard during one of the speeches over at Cal Anderson Park, maybe a half hour ago, there was a speaker who said that this march was going to be taking place, and I believe that they were going to head onto a freeway. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that was the suggestion during one of the speeches over at Cal Anderson Park that preceded this march. Now turning on Broadway off of East Pike. I had a hunch earlier that this direction is north, but it might not be. Now turning off of Broadway, left on East Pine. Cal Anderson Park is right here. The CHOP is up East Pine. Headed toward downtown Seattle now, which you can see some of the skyline of. If you can't hear, the chant is "March with Us." There are people, some of whom may be protesters, gathered around here. I believe they're saying the name of the man who was killed over the weekend during one of the shootings in the CHOP. Someone on a rooftop looking down. There's a fuck Donald Trump and some guy waving on the roof. I mean, the fuck Donald Trump rap song, which I've heard quite a few times in LA. Can you check to make sure that Lorenzo Anderson is the name of the man who was shot and killed here over the weekend?
Yes.
How old is he? Right? Yeah, so oh, indeed. All right, so
Horace
people are calling. So
Lorenzo.
Tim Truth's confirming that, yeah, Lorenzo Anderson was the, I believe, 19-year-old man who was shot and killed in the CHOP over the weekend. And thank you, Tim, for tuning in. As I've mentioned in previous streams, Tim Truth's got a channel that quite often has a stream of streams from across the country. And the crowd's getting louder now as they head toward downtown Seattle. Some supporters drinking at a bar along, which street is this? I forget.
Pike.
Oh yeah, Pike. We're heading down Pike toward downtown. Thank you very much, Costello, who has already contributed to these streams. Very much appreciate that contribution. Oh, not Pike. We're heading on East Pine toward downtown Seattle. No, I'm not wearing a helmet, as you can see in the thumb, I believe. Can you guys... Oh, I see there are a couple comments about that. If you do want to financially support the channel and these streams, you can do so through either PayPal or crypto contributions, and you can find those links on the About page of my YouTube channel. And thank you very much for whoever decides to contribute. If you can't hear, they're shouting out of your home into the streets. Veering left, but still on East Pine, or now just Pine Street. Headed right toward the Seattle skyline. Yeah, we're outside of CHOP. This march started in CHOP, but we're well outside of CHOP at the moment, heading into downtown Seattle. No scooters though. And walking over Interstate 5, which can lead you all the way down to Los Angeles, where I'm coming from. Thank you very much, Tim. Yeah, it's pretty empty right now. The 5 is not empty all the time by any means, but pretty empty right now. And the crowd turns off of Pine east, or headed on Bourne Avenue. Hands up, don't shoot is the chant. Based on the comments, I presume most of you are aware that the city of Seattle has now announced its intent to try to put an end to CHOP. And that was certainly a topic of discussion at the speeches, or during the speeches delivered at Cal Anderson Park this evening, some of which you may have caught on this stream. Some cars trailing the protesters. John, I'm used to walking. It's normal for me to be in different cities all around the world, walking all over the place. In recent years, it hasn't been normal for me to be staying put in the US and driving around everywhere. So the crowd has stopped and is looking up. people filming this building. I don't know what happened. If someone threw something or what. Did someone throw something or what happened? Twice someone threw something out of the window? Okay, so you can see people keeping their head in and out of windows here. A couple protesters telling me that someone, oh, and there's a piece of fruit, it looks like. So protesters saying that someone threw something out of one of those windows. I don't know if that's indeed the case, as traffic's building up a little bit here, and I'm one of the last ones making it through the intersection. Alright, marching underneath the Seattle skyline, we go on Boren Avenue. Passing Howell Street. Oh, really? So John is saying that I recorded, or this stream caught on camera, someone throwing something out the window. I guess so. But I'll have to rewatch that. I don't know. Someone's saying that I'm talking to Annabelle right now. Someone's saying that I need to watch for urine being thrown out from the buildings above. I don't know. I don't know if any of that has happened or would happen, but
They don't have balconies here, you know. That's no issue. You know, when you look up, you know, there are no balconies. They're not
all right.
even there.
But something seems to have been thrown back over there, and I think out a window, and I think I actually recorded it. But no, I don't think anyone's throwing anything out of these windows. Yeah, John, I mean, I have no need for you to go back right now. As protesters clap, I think, giving this man a round of applause. I don't know for what. And the March With Us chant resumes. But yeah, John, if you want to grab a screenshot and send that to me, or just a timestamp to send to me, that'd be amazing. Thank you very much. I believe we're on Boren Street at the moment, but I need to check. Hey, what's up, Magic Monkey? Yeah, Boren, I believe we're still on Boren. We're coming up to an intersection, and I can check. Some traffic moving very slowly, but not a whole lot of traffic behind the protesters. As you can see the Seattle skyline above us. So yes, we're on Bourne Avenue. Now turning off of Bourne Avenue. Looks like onto Virginia. So we're now walking on Virginia Street. And that traffic is motioned to continue on Bourne. We just turned off of Bourne onto Virginia, walking right into downtown. No, we're not in CHOP. We're well outside of CHOP, now in downtown Seattle. No problem, John. It's not that big of an issue, but thank you very much for pointing that out. And as I was, hold on one second. As I was saying, this march started in CHOP, but we are now well outside of CHOP in downtown Seattle.
They already announced that the protest is happening in downtown as we were on the freeway. There was a sign.
Oh yeah, that's interesting that Annabelle's noting that we saw signs on the highway here in Seattle saying that there are protests taking place in the downtown area. CHOP is not located downtown. CHOP is located in the Capitol Hill district of Seattle. Not that far away though. On Virginia, we continue crossing 9th Avenue. And that's an interesting point. I've a couple of commenters noting how it gets dark later here in Seattle than in Los Angeles or the Southern California area, where I've been streaming lately. I don't know exactly how much light we have remaining, but I'd guess 45 minutes. Someone's saying that's an undercover tagging behind the protest. I'm not sure. But now, okay, this is a City of Seattle building. I don't know what building this is. Let's try to take, again, I'm new to Seattle. Let's see what building this is.
We're gonna keep on.
Oh, this is the police department. And you can see some of the fences being moved. Alright, we're outside the Seattle Police Department.
What we will not do, we're your people. Because you came here to protest. Protesting, I mean, people express themselves all kinds of ways. They
And
protest government. That's why it's there.
Fencing being set up, creating a barricade. Here, I think we're on Virginia, aren't we? And I'll hear some sirens in the background. So, barricade being set up by protesters here outside the Seattle Police Department on Virginia at the corner of Virginia and 8th. Actually, the entire intersection is now being... No, this is Virginia and 8th right here. Entire intersection being cordoned off by the protesters who marched on over here from CHOP. And the protesters are largely gathered outside the police department. So before I head back over to try to give you a better view or audio of the talk, there is Virginia and 9th, Virginia and 8th being cordoned off by the protesters.
I'm tired of going through this, and I'm tired of letting this shit happen around me.
I see you.
But you guys being here, you guys let me know that you guys are tired too. You guys let me know that you're tired of this crap. And we're not taking it no more. We're not taking this crap from them no more. We're not. I'm tired of it. I'm being harassed personally myself by officers from this precinct. This is why this has a significance to me. Because I've been personally harassed by officers from this precinct. And it doesn't even matter. It's not about me. It's about us. So, in turn, we're going to come here and give them a piece of our mind about all the black lives that have been lost here that they don't care to go solve because it's black on black crime. They don't care to go solve those murders of black kids being killed by whatever because it's another black kid gone. They don't care. They don't care to solve them. The murder, solve rape, for black crime, for black murder. Because I probably know it's so low that I probably wouldn't go remember. I don't even know, somebody can fact check me. But I'm pretty sure it's significantly low. So, that's why we're here. Anybody ever want my intentions? My intentions is on my chest at all times. I wear this every single day. All day. Every 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 day. Every day. All 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 day. Every day. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let my man say something, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm really appreciative you guys being here every day and coming out here. He showed me that black lives still matter, and by actually showing me, this is showing me. I hate when people tell me, oh yeah, black lives matter, your lives matter. Cool, great. Come show me my life matter. And you guys can show me that my life matters. And I really appreciate y'all for your work. Hey, this is so love. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody that showed up. For real. This is so love. You gotta move as one, always. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say that, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't be speaking up at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, the loudest and smallest motherfucker, right? For real, I'm like, that's debatable, right? That's debatable. That's debatable. You're not the loudest, that's debatable. But I'm short too, and I'm pretty goddamn loud. I'm louder than you, though. I don't love though, you know what I'm saying? I just Like everybody. Yeah. They say we look like. They said each other see. But yeah, all I want to say is thank you guys for showing love. I swear to God, like, you know what I'm saying? It's all love. Thank you guys. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Okay, you see, I look in here, I see a few police hiding upstairs, turning the lights off, trying to block us out of here, hiding upstairs. I see you looking, and you can't hide forever. You can't hide forever because we still need you guys to turn in your fucking badges. Quit your job! 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 Quit your job!
Yo, they're throwing up 2 fingers. How many you want to throw up? One.
Fuck you guys!
Quit your job. Quit throwing up fingers. We got them too. We got them too. I'm fucking hot. Take
Well, I guess we just told you.
You already know.
Listen, honestly, I really do. Me personally, I like to, you know, let people hear the funk, change the movement and whatnot because there's enough distractions where we came from. This is not one of those distractions. This will not be a distraction. And nobody's gonna come over here and deter from what this message is over, which means Black Lives Matter. And that's what we're here for. This is why we're here. It's for Black Lives Matter. So anything outside of that should be obsolete. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to open this space up for people to come to other stations as long as it pertains to movement. However, I strongly encourage the black women to come up here and speak first. Because I might be a black woman and throwing all that shit, but let's be real, I'm looked at the same way he's looked at that, baby. So, I'm just another male voice, if you will, whatever. So, I'd like to open up for these women because I've heard the chatter. I walk around, I listen. I might not say nothing, but listen. And women feel like, especially these black women, feel like they're being drowned out by these male voices. So I would love for these black women that are here to come up here and have the first chance to speak to you. Simple as that.
I just want to know where y'all at. Where's she at? Step up. You gotta assert yourself. Because I know my sisters tell me the same thing. I feel scared of grabbing the mic. I don't know. People are gonna think I'm stupid. Bro, I say stupid shit all the time. Every time I come up here, I say something stupid. But nobody judges me. We just fucking laugh about it, right? Hell yeah. We're all friends here, so just step up. If I can be the person to open up that platform.
Hey, listen, you're a person that comes.
Period.
My experience wasn't right here in Seattle, but when I was in Colorado, look, I had the police beat my ass in my own house. In my own house. I'm a girl. I use that excuse because I'm a girl. You know what I mean? I am a woman. Yes, I am. I'm whatever you want to call me. But I promise you, I don't need my ass beat in my own home in front of people. My kids. No. Look, I was looking at 8 years for felony assault on a police officer. Yes, I did a police up. Yes, I did. Because they came in my house and drove me out. What am I supposed to do? I beat their ass. What am I supposed to do? They came in my house on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve and stomped me out. I had bruises on my whole body. My whole body. And what? And I'm just saying the police ain't shit. Because serving protected or serving protected nothing. I would have called the police if I was getting raped, if I was getting murdered. Fuck the police. I'll handle it all by my motherfucking self.
Any more women want to come up here and say they did? You have a lot to say. Come on. Come on, you're a black woman. Get yourself up. Come on.
Hello. Okay. Hello. So I've been out here for a while. It's very, very, very new to Seattle. Not shy at all. So it's not been a problem coming up on the mic. Like I said, I'm new to Seattle. I'm just really here to learn about your guys' experience, how you guys have been treated by Seattle police. I did not grow up around black people at all, so this has all been the experience. Yeah, this has all been experience. And while I'm up here calling out the guys, all women were out here to fight for Black Lives Matter. We're out here to fight racism, to rewrite the system, to rewrite America, because this shit is not, nothing is broken. This is exactly the way that it's been working. And so, men, we need to step up. We need to stop interrupting women when they're speaking, because that's rude as fuck. And it's not just here. It's in the office. It's in the workplace. It's strangers. It's strangers. It's your family members. It's people you don't know. Let that woman finish her fucking sentence. Shut the fuck up. So rude. Yeah, just once again, just here to learn, hear what your guys' experiences are. I love having one-on-one conversations rather than the big groups. If you ever see me out here every day, so let's talk about it. Let's take starts. Black Lives Matter, and the police brutality is just one cog in the wheel. It's a whole system that we all need to be aware of. We need to know our history. You guys need to know how this nation was founded, how it's being upheld, and how every day microaggressions, things that you don't understand. If a person will probably say, that's fucking racist. Shut the fuck up and listen to them. And they do better next time. No one's mad. Just do better next time.
She has a valid ass point when she tells people to shut the fuck up and listen. So today, Joey, I don't know if you guys know this, Joey Wisely, the guy that streams up in top, gives the real deal what's going on. And so, I posted this picture earlier of this white gentleman. He was in a wheelchair. And he had a Black Lives Matter sign. But that wasn't the part that caught my eye. The part that caught my eye was the sign behind his wheelchair that says, I'm sorry I'm late. I did not know. Maybe I just learned. Basically, I just found out. Like, I didn't know before, but now I know.
At least you found out.
Here's the thing. Exactly. That's the problem. See, that's the problem Seattle's been having this whole time, though. Us in Seattle, we've been so blind. Black lives have been lost there for plenty of moons and years. Shay Taylor, Sean Burr, Malik Williams, John T. Williams. I can keep going on and on. I'll run out of oxygen before I run out of names. That these guys have done. But we all, including myself, I'm not going to exclude me because I'm a part of that problem too, until now. We've all been so blind to what goes on around us because we think, as long as it doesn't affect us, it doesn't matter, right? Wrong as fuck. Because there's somebody that you know that none of this affects. So in the long run, whether it affects you directly or not, it affects somebody you know, so therefore it affects you. It's that simple. We've all been a closet racist at one point of our life. We all have. But the fact you guys are here shows that, yes, you're willing to admit, yes, I've been a closet racist, yes, I've been silenced, but now I'm not. I'm done being silent. That's what this shows. That's what this means. That we're all tired of being silent about the shit that goes on in this city. I'm all for changing the world, but Seattle got its own demons we got to deal with first, period. And until we deal with these assholes and the demons that they created here in this city, we can't change the world. We can't worry about what the world's doing. Because the world's watching us to change. Minneapolis and those guys are looking at us as an example. We're not looking at them, they're looking at us. Yes, we're all fighting this racial injustice and this systematic racism together as a whole, as a country. But like I said, Seattle got its own demons we got to face first. So let's be here showing that we're standing up for Seattle first.
That point, you may not all wake up at the same time in the morning, but that alarm when George Floyd was killed, that protest, and we all gathered, we all rallied together, the march in the streets, the protest at these streets, and now we're back at this precinct. That alarm is gone off for all of us. We are all woke at the fact that police, the injustice in the system, in the Northwest, has to change. It has to change. People see it all over. They're doing the same thing. Portland sees the same thing. Us in the Northwest, we understand. We have a different level of racism than they do in the South, than they do in the East Coast. It's a different experience. It's still fucking racism. In order for that to change, we need to go within our communities. We need to change the people who are supposed to be protecting our communities. We're supposed to be in charge, who have that leadership, the authority. If they don't want that leadership, if you don't want that authority, then get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! You can't handle the leadership and authority of a man, a helper, a gun, a fucking handgun, a baton, a handcuff, your wife cheating on you, all that shit! Get the fuck out!
Bless everybody. I've been doing activism. I've been doing activism a few years. The last time I was doing this, I had to get out of it for a little while. This like 4 times in this group. And the third time they tried to bust my arm out of socket. Like there's wrenching my arm out of socket like 5 or 6 times because I just keep stretching yoga every day. You know what I mean? They couldn't break my arm. And at that same time, they took a picture of my eyeball. That's the only, you know what I'm saying? That's very rare they do that, you know what I'm saying? The 4th time I got arrested, basically they said I was smoking, the pot was cracked on me. And I'm trying to tell you, as a protester, as a black protester, they don't really do that to white protesters, you know what I'm saying? Plant drugs on me, they don't plant drugs on me, you know what I'm saying, as white protesters, as black protesters, they'll fucking roll me, you know what I'm saying? Like, this in Baltimore and Freddie Gray, God bless Freddie Gray. One guy was smashed, got a picture stepping on a police car, they put him in jail for 5 years. You ever heard of a white protester, you know what I'm saying, getting put in jail for 5 years for crashing a police car? You know what I mean? So we need you guys out here. We need you to call your relatives and your friends. Please help us. We're going to make history right here. Washington is the most progressive state in this country. That's why they're so scared of us. We're a sleeping giant. You know what I'm saying? We can wake them up. We will wake them up. And we're going to do that by marching. You know what I'm saying? We're going to show the rest of the country. Washington is here for the long haul. Wayne is here part-time. Washington is here. God bless you guys. You're doing God's work. Do God's work. You know what I'm saying? Doing more than a lot of preachers would do. Getting out of the street, putting their bodies on the line. How many preachers you know gonna put their bodies on the line like that? You're doing the work. Thank you so much. I know there's a couple other women out here that probably want to keep your peace. You know what I'm saying? What you heard? I'm right here. I want the women to go first, buddy. Right here. I want the women to go first, buddy. I hear you, buddy, but I want these women to go first.
I know, you guys, men have had a moment in the
Bro, why are you being like,
I want, can you stop talking to my sister? Can you let her speak, please? Can you let her speak, please? Can you please let her speak? Let her speak! I've been out here about 3 weeks. I've never seen anything like this, and this is freaking amazing. We cannot let it all be for nothing. We can't let it be for a block party. Whatever the hell is happening. We have to keep going. Out to the south, out to the west, up to the north. If you don't live in Seattle, you need to be standing on street corners near your house so you have no fucking idea. There is something possible you can do. Tell your friends, your neighbors, so get out there.
Take a chance.
I feel so honored to be able to do this. And I'm so honored to be a part of this.
Thank you.
We're not gonna read him like that. Stop.
Okay, we're gonna let that go itself. We're gonna pass it on to another speaker. Here we go.
Hey, listen. We're not gonna discuss people. We're not gonna get the right way. I'm not calling you out.
Unnecessary. I don't want to stop. Sorry.
Well, look, this is people gonna meet in a minute. See, this is what we're here for. Have open dialogue. Open dialogue. Let's focus on our message while we're here too. We still ain't done. We still got a whole lot of work to do. These assholes ain't learned yet. Listen, a few days, a week of us coming here screaming at the top of our lungs at this, it's not gonna make these assholes change. Okay? This is years and years of ingrained shit that they've been doing for decades and centuries. These guys used to be slave catchers.
This is MLK 381 days. We have only been at about day 26.
Here's the numbers and here's the proof. These guys were meant to hurdle and counter people and dictate people's lives. They were never meant to protect and serve. They were never meant for that. They were started as slave catchers. Police used to catch the slaves that ran away and brought them back. They were never trained properly to protect and serve people. That's why we have this problem. That's why we need to do something about it as a city. So these assholes can stop dictating our fucking lives. Everybody likes facts. If everybody likes facts and numbers, I'm going to tell you guys some facts and numbers. 82%. So FPD has a $410 million budget. Yeah, half of one branch of military budget. That's half of a branch of a military budget. Now listen, 82% of that budget, or $306 million of it, is spent on salaries, benefits, overtime. You want to know for how many people? 2,000 people. You're spending $306 fucking million to pay 2,000 fucking people? Holy fucking shit! Some of these people ain't even got their taxes yet! Some people ain't got their taxes yet! You guys, that is the point. See, here's the point. We pay for this shit, but yet they get their money before we get ours. They get their money before we get ours. You see how that works? But we pay them though. So what do we have to do? I say, man, 50% is a starting point. That's just a starting point. I say 150 million is okay in the budget for the second minutes we have. But whatever. In order to, but we have to stay active every day to defund them by at least 50% to take that money and put it back to these black communities. Fuck the community of these black communities. Because communities ain't suffering. Communities ain't going to jail. Communities ain't dying. Communities ain't being racially profiled. It's the black communities that's all that's happening to, not communities. So, all this everybody want to talk about, let's take this money and put it back into the community. What fucking community are you talking about? What community is our community? What's our community? Our community or the black community is our community. Because we say our community, that means every community. No, let's be more specific. Take that fucking money and put it in the black community so that these kids that grow up have the same chance as somebody in Bellevue arrested. Because Bellevue arrested don't need no fucking help. Bellevue arrested ain't fucking racially gentrified. Bellevue arrested is living just like I live. In the central district in the south, and are living how they're meant to live too, according to the system. That's the problem. That's what everybody seems to have a misconception. Our community, no, the black community. I want that precinct up there to be a black community center for black kids that grew up in the Rainier Beach area so they can get away from that gang shit and get away from these gang-infested neighborhoods and have the same chance to think about their way. I care about black community, that's our community. Because our community is being alive. So everybody want to preach about our community this, our community that. Okay, when our community starts going through the same shit I'm going through, then that's when it's our community. Till then, these black communities need that help. Period. Legally, by law, we take money from this and we tax Amazon too. Legally, by law, we can tell these fuckers in the city, hey, we want this first $100 million that we get from these guys to go to the central district to racially equally gentrify. To equally gentrify the central district. Legally, we are representing them, then we have to come out here and do this every day so that they understand that this is not going to keep going on. Every day! All day! 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 Every day! Every day! Every day! All 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 day! Every day! Every day! Listen, single hoes are outlawed now, so we ain't gonna work. Listen, go ahead and speak your people. You got something you want to say?
I got something I want to say. When I was 18 years old, I got arrested by the Seattle police in West Seattle. And I was put in the public safety building. I don't know if anyone here is old enough to know that place, but it used to be down the street where the new city hall is. And I watched a young black man come off the elevator and get in a fist fight with four or five Seattle policemen. One of them put the sleeper hold on him, and he stopped breathing. The jail went into a riot and a lockdown. Being 18 years old, I didn't know what to do. So I've been holding this in my whole life. And when I saw the shooting at McDonald's in Seattle, I made it my bucket wish to meet Carmen Best. So I rolled up on her in my wheelchair and I said, thank you for being out here. Because I know that if she was the chief, that would not have happened. And it's scary to say, but she does care. It is. Now listen, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm brown, and she introduces me to the mayor. She says, Mayor, this guy here says he feels safe out in the streets. And the mayor goes, yeah, what's your connection to this murder? And the chief goes, Mayor, he said he just came to have a hamburger in a place that he spent time with his father 50 years ago. But she does care. She really does care.
Hey, listen, this man has his own opinion. That's right now.
I got a broken neck.
But I'm gonna tell you something about Carmen Best.
bro.
He wanted to express himself and we're doing that. Hey, stop. No, you stop. Don't tell him what he can't say, bro. Just don't tell him what he can and can't say, bro. He's a grown man. This is a free space for people to open themselves. Thank you. Let's all give him a round of applause. Now listen. I might not agree with him, and I will tell you about Carmen Best. Carmen Best was the interim police chief after 0211, correct? And here's the thing. They didn't want to leave her the police chief. But here's the thing. The black community stood up for her.
Right.
Our community went to bat for her to be police chief right now. And what has she done for it? Not a goddamn thing. So, although I believe his sentiment is, he has his own sentiment, I'm not going to take away from what he believes. However, what I believe is she's bullshit too. You know what I'm saying? She might have been good that day, but today she ain't the same motherfucker. So, therefore, because here's the thing, when people go to bat for you, you should go to bat for them. Not leave them hanging when it's time to go to bat for them. When you're in a position to go to bat for them. And that's what you did. It's not about where you come from, where you're at, who you are. It's not about none of that. It's about sticking together as a unit and being together as one and accomplishing these goals together. So what? We might not all share the same point of view. Some people can probably think all lives matter. Some people just think, no, black lives matter before all lives matter. Which I'm one of those people, but
All lives matter when black lives matter.
there you go. Yes. There you go. See what I'm saying? But there's some people who might not share that sentiment. And that's totally fine. As long as we're here for Black Lives Matter, and that's all lives. As long as we share that same sentiment, then we're all on the same page.
Right.
If we all share the sentiment of Black Lives Mattering, then we're all on the same page. He looks like
to Seattle, much like her. I've been learning about this city, going to all these neighborhoods and all these marches, and I've heard these stories from all these people from different neighborhoods and how they've been dealing with these cops for decades and decades and decades. And to hear these stories, it breaks my heart, and this shit needs to stop right now. And that's pretty much all I have to say is, fuck you guys, quit your jobs!
Oh my God, you guys are charging me like a battery that was dancing for 2 years. I'm serious, like, I feel the love, I feel the energy. It's just, listen, man, I'm humble as fuck to be here. Like, I could be anywhere else in the world right now, but it's the only thing I see myself here. Because there's nothing else in the world. I'm going to the world and expect the world to accept me when the world inside of my city doesn't accept me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm humble as fuck. I'm not a regular person. I'm not no leader. That cares about that community. The black community. That's the community I care about. You know, the community that I forgot that we take to forget about because we don't see or hear about their issues. But however, they hear and see those issues. And they don't do anything about them. So now I'm telling you that I live in one of those communities now. That I've seen and I've heard it. And now that we've all seen and heard this shit, this is what we're gonna do every fucking day till they get the fucking message we're not going the fuck away. We're gonna keep going this fucking every day. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna do it. We're gonna keep making it do shit. I'm thinking you're gonna shut down the freeway. What's up, freeway? So let's all get to the street. Let's line up and get to the street, and we're gonna go do this together. Hey, assholes! I got one last thing to tell you, assholes. Just because we're leaving, we'll be back tomorrow, the day after, all day, every day, all day, every day, all day, every day.
So let's see, maybe this march will indeed go onto the freeway. I think we'll get by. You've heard it from a speaker over at the park in Chaz, and now here suggesting that this march is going to head onto the freeway. Let's see. As the barricade is removed from the corner of Virginia and 8th, I did pan over to this intersection at one point during the gathering right here in front of the police department. You may have noticed there was a bus and some other traffic that was allowed to turn left off of Virginia onto 8th. But just now, the protesters are actually removing the fencing and putting it back in front of the police department. Right here in downtown Seattle. There's also this barricade set up here on Virginia. So protesters had traffic blocked off from passing by where they were gathered right here out in front of the police department. It sounds like the protest is headed onto the freeway. Again, for those of you who tuned in recently, we started in CHOP, then marched on out of CHOP, ended up here downtown Seattle. Now the protesters are talking about marching onto the freeway. And there was a simultaneous gathering outside the abandoned East Precinct building inside CHOP. We showed you a little bit of the action there and then took off along with this march.
Okay. For you guys that are here at Seattle, we as one person, individual, when you're out by yourself, every little thing you do can make a difference. And I know in the last few weeks we have definitely realized that more than ever, that one person can make a huge effect on somebody else, the person standing right next to them, the person that they interact with later or currently, earlier that day, whenever. Every single person, one person can make a huge difference no matter how helpless or how hopeless or how meaningless you think you are or your life or the situation that you have found yourself in. Because we are here to fix every problem that we see needs to be changed. Even if we can't fix them all, we're here trying to fix them all. We're here to achieve everything we are set to achieve. That is getting rid of the government. That is getting rid of the police government, the corrupt government system, of the racist people in the streets that want to look at people with prejudice and look at people and give them the disrespect. We want to make sure that they realize who we are. Make sure they show us respect. Make sure they appreciate us as human beings. That's why we're here together. One person. We are beautiful as one person. We are great as one person. When we work together,
There's a commenter saying I need to inform all of them that Epstein did not kill himself.
Probably Epstein also had blackouts.
That's why one person kills one person, Texas one person, one person, one person, fighting the things to one person. Fuck, you can do everything with one person.
Alright, heading back in the direction we came, turning off of Virginia onto Boren. I don't know if the plan is to get onto the I-5. You can see a 5 sign right here. But there's been plenty of talk about heading onto the freeway.
Who's
we do have a vehicle trailing the protest. Is that a police vehicle? I'm not sure. Chant is, who do we protect? Black women. Again, there was a gathering of people that split in half, something like that, with somewhere around half of the protesters staying put outside the abandoned East Precinct building, East Precinct Police Department building within the CHOP, and the others marching in this crowd. And we chose to go with this crowd rather than staying put at the precinct building in the CHOP, although maybe we'll head back there. And by the way, that was Emma leaving a comment about police vehicles trailing protests in Minneapolis. Emma's been live on the ground since the very beginning in Minneapolis, and go take a look at her channel. Quick look at the Seattle skyline as we turn left onto Howell Street. Again, this is Howell Street that we're now on. It is a beautiful skyline. Well, most of it you can't see right now, but yes, very beautiful skyline. And I think sometime during my stay in Seattle, I'll do a video, probably a stream, giving you a look at the skyline separate from a protest.
Make sure that you can make it up.
So as you can see, that those sirens were not trailing us. That looked like an ambulance heading on a call somewhere in a different direction. I'd presume it's not related to the chop, but I definitely don't know that for sure. So if anyone hears about any police or medical action over at the chop, please let me know.
White out what it is to be black. They've been whiting out history forever. They've been whiting out the whole existence of what the whole civil rights movement was about. How slavery even invented.
All right, someone's saying no chop cams, all quiet. Well, all right, thanks. And I guess let's continue to monitor that if possible. We're, I don't know, maybe a 10-minute walk away from the chop right now.
Tell the fucking truth, show the fucking truth, and make fucking shit happen. Make shit happen. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to report on what we're doing, what the truth is. They would rather report on a fucking gunshot, on people getting killed, on people dying at fucking chop, or on the corner of. That's what they'd rather report on. Fuck that. We don't want them reporting that shit. We want them to see and highlight the shit that we're doing for the community. We want them to see that we're making our voices heard. We want them to see that we're taking over our city, we're taking over the streets, taking over the freeway.
Okay, so it appears southbound onto the 5 we go. The chant is, whose freeway? Our freeway. You can see traffic honking as a barricade is being set up on the Yale Avenue on-ramp to I-5 south. So, huh? You sure? What's the name of that media again? Look it up. Plug in. Okay, just quickly monitoring what's going on here at the I-5 on-ramp at Howell and Yale. Sir, are you at that local media organization?
No.
Okay.
No,
someone else.
No, I'm a local, man. I'm a Garfield High School, man. And,
Your voice just sounds feminine.
oh, yeah, no, I think because of the spams.
Yeah, I can't stand these masks.
Yeah, no, I'm not with none of that. You know what I'm saying? I just work here. I'm not with none of that.
No, for sure. Thanks. Okay, so just a little mix-up. But all right, you can see there were cars trying to get onto this on-ramp, and they were denied. And now here we go onto the 5. There is it seems eerily quiet, and it seemed eerily quiet earlier. There's a roadwork ahead sign. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but we have a protester directing traffic away from this on-ramp. And let's catch up with the crowd. As we're walking, Annabelle, you want to say what you saw on the freeway earlier today?
On the freeway. Oh yeah, we saw already a sign as we drove into the city, what showed us that there will be protests in downtown Seattle, and now we are on the freeway.
All right, let's take a look. No vehicles. I don't know if you guys caught that, but the man with the loudspeaker saying we're going to occupy both sides of the freeway because technically our tax dollars pay for it. So, looks like people on both the south and northbound I-5 now with no vehicles, seemingly no vehicles around here.
I want people up here. Can you guys hear me? So listen, we're gonna split this up, half over here, half over there, because if we give this up, that traffic right there comes through here, and we're not gonna allow that. Down there. That's the entrance ramp. Yeah, I know.
So I think this is the northbound I-5, and I wonder if police have already blocked off on-ramps in the area, because I did see a vehicle. Now you can see another vehicle. There are vehicles getting on the northbound 5 north of where we are right now, but I see no vehicles coming directly at us. Makes me wonder if there are other on-ramps blocked off, or a whole section of the freeway is blocked off. And here, this is a look at the southbound 5. So, southbound 5, northbound 5.
Can't nobody get through right here.
And pretty much no vehicles to speak of on this stretch of the 5. Light over here, that's where we got on. That's the on-ramp we walked up to get here, and it's blocked off by protesters. Are there other on-ramps blocked off in the area by police or Caltrans? I don't know.
Speaks to both sides.
What percentage is it? Super high on this? Like 90 something? Okay, perfect.
Just figure out for how long so that we can communicate with this group when we can get back up.
Alright. Showing you look from the center divider. Here's southbound 5. Here's northbound 5. Oh. And someone's pointing out a mistake I made. I'm so used to streaming in Los Angeles and California. I said Caltrans. Of course, there's no Caltrans in the state of Washington. That's a slip on my part. But it sure has the look like someone other than the protesters have shut down a section of the 5. No vehicles I can see south of here. And
I never thought it was possible to shut down both sides of a major highway.
WS dot, is that what it's called? Washington State dot? I don't know.
Holy shit, guys, we're accomplishing some shit here. We get to this fucker. Every day they do this. Every day they shut down because they know we're coming to shut this shit down. So let's keep fucking up.
This might be our explanation right here.
That aren't here anymore. So if I can make their life harder and possibly send them to jail by doing this, well, actually not possibly, because we are going to send them to jail for their past crimes and past crimes. So if this does that, we're going to do this every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day.
As I hear some sirens from coming south of here. I think I just heard him say that the police have been shutting down the freeway every day. A vehicle has broken the barricade. So that truck just burst right through the barricade set up by protesters on the on-ramp that we just walked up. And is headed out southbound on a wide open freeway, causing protesters seated on the southbound 5 to get up and scamper away. It looks like that barricade is being reestablished, blocking traffic onto the southbound on-ramp.
He just ran the barricade straight over, ran straight through it and came up here. Yeah, I don't want people's lives at risk. We're trying to preserve and save black lives, not put people's lives at risk.
So now there's a discussion being had about whether or not to abandon the occupation of the southbound 5 here and to just stay on the northbound 5.
I trust you guys, and I know you guys trust me, but I'm not going to put nobody's life in danger.
So protesters are clearing off the southbound side of the freeway. Some still remain at that reestablished barricade at the on-ramp entrance, and most have now climbed up and over the center divider onto the northbound side of the freeway. And some are chanting Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure exactly where, but here we are in the northbound 5. Absolutely no vehicle traffic headed in this vicinity. What are you?
So I just talked with protesters, and they said the other protesters are coming from Chop Hill. I don't know if you can hear it. They're, screaming George Floyd, and we are going to meet in the middle with them.
Okay, so I've been
From
hearing
that
Black
way,
Lives
yes.
Matter, so there are protesters on an overpass that we're now approaching, and Annabelle's saying that these protesters are coming from the CHOP, and it looks like we're going to convene here both on the northbound 5 and on the overpass as another engine revs somewhere around the ramp with the barricade. It looks like a false alarm this time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I'm glad you're here. What's your name? Nice to meet you.
Alright, now we've got sirens not too far away from here, but I don't see exactly where. Again, Annabelle, can you remind people what's going on with these intersecting demonstrations?
So these are protesters from Chop Hill. We're in downtown, and they are going to block the freeway from Capitol Hill, somewhere that area. We are going to meet in the middle with them, basically.
So there are protesters starting out from CHOP who are blocking the highway from a different direction.
Yes.
All right. I guess they're not on the overpass right here. I think they are.
Probably they are already
Because
here.
I've heard them screaming Black Lives Matter from somewhere around the overpass. It looks like two protest groups are converging now. You can see a considerable amount of traffic on the street parallel to the 5 and wide open lanes here on the 5 just north of downtown. And Black Women's a chant. So I see some people on the overpass looking down, and then it looks like there's this other group on a ramp here. I'm not sure if it's it's an on-ramp. Oh, blocking traffic, indeed. So two groups are converging right here on this northbound 5 on-ramp where traffic is blocked. All right, here's the...
We haven't done a good job. So we're going to keep fucking disrupting your lives every fucking day. So you guys understand that there's people who didn't fucking make it home. So you guys can afford to be a little fucking late.
Alright, so traffic is now moving in reverse on this northbound 5 on-ramp, and the crowd is marching up to the vehicles, some of which you can see turning around. Onlookers above.
We're going to sit here if you guys stay home. Because Breonna Taylor didn't make it home. Sean Burr didn't make it home. George Floyd didn't make it home. Charlene Alive was at her house.
I'm black.
So,
I've seen one person up there that's black. I don't get it. Well, can you come and talk to me? What's going on? Because I don't really know about this stuff.
We're occupying down for Black Lives. Okay. And we're going to make everybody's life miserable, and we're going to make everybody late because the only time we're going to go home, make it home.
Okay, so we've got a man who just this vehicle, exited the driver's seat of this vehicle, and joined the protest.
Understand, we're not playing about them caring about black lives here. You know what? We're gonna do this every day. I understand you, but I respect you.
I respect you too. I'm not gonna be rude.
Oh, I know that.
But this is the first time I ever even
that's why I wanted to come explain it to you.
into all this stuff.
And that's why I came to explain it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I appreciate everything that you guys doing.
I appreciate you for supporting me.
Yes, yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Let him through that.
Let him through.
Don't let this go.
That's a black lady. Hold on, we can't get in.
So there you can see that woman
Anybody else
driving off after being let through the protest line.
Come join us. Who calls the car to come join us? Where's that person that's like the person to take that? Buddy, I appreciate you for understanding the fact that you got her in your car, you showed me Black Lives Matter to you, buddy. And I really appreciate you, brother.
If you want to speak, go ahead, man. I'm not good at crowds. Man, it's okay. I ain't
In mind, not everybody wants to be recorded, so if you could like get a permission first, that'd be cool.
I'm sorry guys, I'm really nervous. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm so sorry for all the things that happened, and I wish there was just something we could do that was more impactful, but I'm with you guys no matter what I can do, so I apologize for everything. I'm with
you. Us doing this made a difference in his life. Hey, listen. We come do this, we make difference in people's lives. We change lives by doing this. Because the more we do this, the more we wake up to the fact that there is things going on beneath the surface in this city. And we're not going to keep letting it get swept underneath the rug. The more we do this, the more people we reach, the more people will get educated. Because they're going to be like, well, what are you guys doing? That's the time to educate. If somebody sees you and asks you, well, why are you doing this? This is your time to educate. Always educate before ignoring. Because some people, they have that notion in their head because that's what they were raised in. They were raised to be racist. They weren't born like that. They were raised like that. So that's something that's crazy. That's something that was taught to them and beat into them. And some people like that don't change overnight. They want to change, but they don't change overnight. So instead of beating them down and ignoring them,
The one lady who was allowed to pass was a black woman who had a conversation with the protesters and found common ground. And there were comments saying, "Let the black woman through."
Because education is how we all got here. Because we started to get educated about what the hell was going on. And we woke the hell up and started paying attention to what was going on around us. And we educated ourselves. That's right. So
you can see more vehicles coming onto the on-ramp, but also more vehicles turning back around and heading off the on-ramp.
Physically show them. If they want to physically see, let them go physically see. Because at this point, I'm not asking anybody to tell you. I'm telling people to get the fuck off their ass. I'm not asking you. I got love for the block. I got love for the block. Now I'm telling you the man. I got because at this point, I'm going to fuck. So your uneducated friends or willfully ignorant, you demand they ask you, sit there and you make them listen to you. Because willful ignorance is not an excuse for not being. Willful ignorance makes you part of the fucking problem of why we're here. It's okay to be ignorant and then get educated. But when you're willfully ignorant, you know what's going on, but you're choosing to ignore it. You're part of the fucking problem. And if you have friends like that, they're part of the fucking problem. You need to tell them about themselves. Check their asses and get them in line. Because that's the only way this keeps going. It's not educating people who don't know or people who want to act like they're so fucking above everything else and blind to this shit. That's the only way this works, guys. Together and educated. That's the only way you want to talk. You got something you want to say?
I do. I've been holding on, but I want to say something.
Get up. Hello? Yeah, speak up a little bit.
Hello? Okay, so I've been holding off on white people, women of color, people of color, they need to go first. But you're saying education. I'm going to be a teacher, and yeah. I have about a semester left, but about education. My own sister has blocked my phone number for me trying to educate her. And I was at first, on social media, you see people say racist shit, post racist memes, and it's just easier to delete them. It is. I did it before. But now, you can't just delete them. You have to stand up and say what's wrong, even if it's a fucking meme. Like, memes are supposed to be funny, but oppression of 400 years is not funny.
Fucking right.
And so yeah, educators, and like the Sam said, I just want to say that I'm going to be teaching this to my students 20 years from now. They will know that I was a part of it, and they will know that their teachers fought for their rights. I don't want to say, I live in Montana, and the only diversity you really learn about is Native American, which, yes, of course, this is native land, of course, we love you, but there's all diversity you need to be educated on. So, like, Montana's all white, I don't want to teach there. I mean, they do need education, but I want to be the people of diversity. So yeah, educate your friends. Sorry, I'm all talking. Start with the education. That's the number one thing. That's why people stay so ignorant, because they don't know, because they were never taught of it. But it's like, where do you start the education? There's 4 major parts of the U.S. history that we all aware of. We all know about slavery. We all know what happened with slavery, but teachers don't emphasize that it was bad. Slavery was not a good thing. People with Confederate flags, people defending their farms, who was working those farms? Slavery was bad. We all know this. Jim Crow laws, segregation. You guys need to know that. They're still happening here. We still have the effects of segregation in 2020. We still have slavery in 2020. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, except for those who have committed a crime. That except makes slavery legal. Completely legal in 2020. So slavery's bad. Jim Crow laws, segregation, redlining, you guys. The banks literally made maps of who they would lend to and what neighborhoods are most desirable. And Chopper, the brown and black neighborhoods were not desirable. That's how we have the ghetto. Next time you guys are talking about everybody who's in the ghetto and on welfare, that's how they fucking got there. That's how they got there, redlining, because our government had to keep black people down. Mass incarceration, when all this was being, when everything was being worked guys, don't give them attention. This is why we're here. I'm a black woman. I'm speaking. I didn't have your attention. Don't worry about people. Mass incarceration. It's not a fucking coincidence that every black man I meet has a fucking felony or it's not a fucking coincidence. They go looking for it. They plant drugs on people. I've lost so many friends because of
interruption. I don't know why, but because I'm having this connection interruption, I'll just give you a peek at what's going on with the traffic here. You can see a whole bunch of vehicles on the northbound 5 on-ramp turning around and heading back off the on-ramp. Meanwhile, there's a woman, it sounds like a woman somewhere up on the street or possibly on one of these balconies, I don't know, screaming stop blocking traffic. And the protesters seem to be in agreement that they're going to ignore the woman. And now Annabelle is getting told by this woman probably that she doesn't have permission to film.
wanted to fly to Aurora and go demand get justice for being stopped. But like he said, we need to change Seattle first before we try and change other places. Another thing I have to say is Elijah McClain. He's also from Aurora. If you aren't familiar with his story, he was Phoenix. He was wearing a ski mask, walking home because he was cold. Someone called the police because he looked suspicious. He was in his headphones.
Look, I mean, everything that's happened over the past several weeks now gets taken into account in situations like these. Make whatever of that as you please.
That's not what happened. Alright?
Do we have any word on any action over at Chalk right now?
I ran into a little kid there. He was wearing a sign that said, killed my neighbor. What he should have said is they murdered me. It's wild. This was 3 years ago, and this kid is only maybe 7, 8 years old now. So back then he was 5. He doesn't see
Okay,
color.
Tim's commenting. Thank you very much, Tim. So, Tim Truth saying not a whole lot going on at CHOP. There's a woman here who's trying to talk us out of filming. What do you say? Maybe take a walk around and up and see who's screaming up here, stop blocking traffic, and get a look at the crowd from above. So again, we're trying to mitigate problems that may arise. And in the meanwhile, you get a look at another car turning around, as many cars have done. They've come onto this northbound 5 on-ramp, driven up to the crowd that is blocking traffic. That vehicle that's parked on the right, directly in front of the protesters, that driver got out and joined the protesters. I believe the driver of that vehicle on the left is still in the car with some loud music blasting, and now you can just see what's been happening here for the past 20 minutes or so. Vehicles come onto the northbound 5 on-ramp. There's a protest blocking traffic.
So we can't go home?
Just so you know, I'm streaming right now.
That's fine.
All right, so there's
home from Seattle.
There's a protest that's blocking traffic on this on-ramp. They're not letting cars go through.
Oh my god.
So you can see not everyone is so satisfied with the decision to block this northbound 5 on-ramp. And this man's angry. Let's monitor this from behind. The guy... So he just said he needs to get home. And the protesters...
We're on the damage, didn't make it home. Black lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. You can wait and wait to get home, buddy. Thank you. George Floyd's not at home. Another Taylor was murdered in the home. Charlie Love was murdered in the home. So you can fucking wait to be fucking laid home. You can wait, sir. It's not that serious. People lost their lives from behind what we're doing. So you can fucking wait.
So now the man who I just spoke with is, I don't know if he's filming or on a video call or what, as his path is blocked by protesters. And he's clearly not pleased, as he got out and screamed, "I need to get home." And I think you heard most of the response. I'm not going to zoom in on this phone. I don't want to instigate anything. As this woman in the pink sweatshirt who's been telling people not to film or to be careful when you film now seems to be filming both me and the driver. I gotta make sure I don't get run over here.
You want to still be ignorant, you don't want to be educated. Shut the fuck up! Stop! 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 I'm gonna talk to you! I'm gonna talk to him!
So he screamed, "How does this make anything better?" Let's take a walk. The protester screamed, "How does this?" I mean, not the protester. The driver screamed, "How does this make anything better?" One of the protesters screamed back at him, "Shut the fuck up." Then the guy, or the individual seems to be leading the protest with the microphone, said he wanted to have a conversation, but there was no conversation. I mean, no additional conversation. The man drove off. That could have been a lot worse than it was. Now let's loop around off the on-ramp. Can we get through here? No, that's a fence. Another car that's just parked here. Or I don't know if she's waving at me or what. You can see a lot of tents set up here along the on-ramp. Another vehicle, more vehicles coming onto the on-ramp, and they're probably gonna turn around. Just so you know, I'm filming right now, but there's a protest that's blocking the freeway. Just letting you know. More and more vehicles coming onto the on-ramp, and they begin turning around and heading off the on-ramp. Someone was screaming earlier, "Stop blocking traffic." I don't know if it came from the street right here, this residential building, or someone who is an onlooker peering over the fence. I don't know, but someone was screaming repeatedly, "Stop blocking traffic," from somewhere around here. Oh, now they're marching up the on-ramp. The protesters, they are. And vehicles are turning back and heading away from the oncoming marchers. They've now marched up the on-ramp, almost off the on-ramp. They may be heading back to the chop, I don't know. Let's go to this side of the street. All right, they've now begun marches here in Seattle. Can I have that battery pack, please? Is there a connection problem? I'm not sure. There was, that one's almost dead. There was a connection problem briefly while on the on-ramp, but I think that went away. Alright, people are saying it's a little glitchy. I'm sorry about that. Or else Castello's saying the stream is good. So, hopefully it holds up. There was one moment on the on-ramp where I lost connection. But I walked a little bit and it seemed to come back quickly. I'm not sure exactly, but I think Chop is about a 5 to 10 minute walk from here.
This all week. Come on now. All together, we're going to march the we're going to go. Let's go.
So, these two men who are standing right here appear to be talked into joining the protest march as they now head up. What is this? I don't want to follow them right now. Let's take a look. So we have a protester directing traffic. They're marching up the hill in the direction of Chop. I'm going to give them a little distance right now. This is the freeway entrance that had been blocked by the protesters. Now it's not blocked by the protesters, but it appears to be blocked by some sort of law enforcement vehicles. They have lights flashing, so I can't tell. Or is it blocked? Maybe it's not blocked. Someone's saying it's open. Alright, we have a woman in a vest, or I guess not a vest, but a traffic directing outfit, directing traffic, and telling people that the freeway's open. Oh, good catch. So Annabelle just noticed that there's on this building. Maybe if someone's familiar with the Seattle skyline, you might know what building this is. I don't know what building this is, but there are lights forming a large BLM, and it looks like that's a heart.
Yes.
Looks like a Love BLM light show or light display. Oh, is that the Hyatt? There was a Hyatt somewhere around there. I'm not sure if that's the Hyatt. Alright, you ready to walk back up in the direction of Chop? Alright, so I wanted to give you a little look at the recently reopened northbound 5 on-ramp while simultaneously giving a little space to the marchers. And now we're heading back up in their direction and in the direction of Chop. Alright. Yeah, you're too German. Actually, people are saying you're Russian. They're having a debate in the comments over whether you're Russian or German. I don't know which building that is that's got the Love BLM on it. I can already hear the protesters, so they're not too far away from us as they march up in the direction of Chop. and we're carrying on behind them. The chant right now is, what do we want? Justice. When do we want it now? Love land management. There's some funny comments about this. Someone's saying it's a George Soros building. Someone's saying it's a Bureau of Land Management building. A lot of rainbow flags around here on buildings and businesses, in addition to Black Lives Matter support. Someone's asking me, hi, how are you in Russian? I guess I gotta respond, хорошо, а тебя? Whose streets? Our streets is the chant. The protesters about a half a block ahead of us right now. Again, as I was discussing early in the broadcast, as I'm sure most of you are aware, as motorcycle engines rev. For or against the protest, or something in between, or nothing. Anyways, I was saying, I mentioned early in the broadcast, as I'm sure many of you are aware, the city of Seattle has indicated it intends to put an end to the existence of the CHOP. But we don't know what's going to happen. If you weren't tuned in at the broadcast, at the beginning of the broadcast, and definitely this applies now that it's dark, I'm not going to be filming a bunch of stuff up close as we head back to the CHOP. I'm going to keep some distance. And I've already Instagrammed out photos of the abandoned police precinct within the CHOP. That's on my Instagram feed at Nomad Journalist, and you can watch the beginning of this stream on the replay if you haven't seen it, for the speeches that were being given in the CHOP, as well as somewhat of a walk through the streets of the CHOP. And I intend to provide more coverage in the coming days from in and around the CHOP. But for now, just keeping things at at least arm's length. They're chanting defund SPD right now. Defund the Seattle Police Department. They being the marchers who had 5 on-ramp blocked off moments ago. They're making their way up the hill away from downtown and toward the CHOP. It's definitely more than 20 marchers, but it's not a huge crowd. I don't know, maybe 100? How many people do you think are marching right now? Annabelle gives a rough estimate of 150 marchers right now.
Less,
or maybe less. This protester continues to direct traffic. I need a break from this mask. And we're getting trolled right now.
Maybe we should cross the street.
You wanna know? Leave them. I want to leave distance. Well, we're not in CHOP right now. We're close to CHOP, but we're not in CHOP. And we're headed for CHOP. As you can see, lots of businesses with Black Lives Matter signs on them. This has been a point of discussion, actually a point of contention among some of the protesters that I've heard today, discussing how some of them don't think the support for Black Lives Matter coming from some of the local businesses is authentic. Some of the protesters have been suggesting that local businesses have been claiming to support Black Lives Matter, but in reality they don't. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So the crowd of marchers have their hands up right now. Coming during and after the hands up function. White pickup truck zipping off away from the protesters and away from the protester directing traffic. Can you guys hear the chants right now? I don't know if you can. The last chant is "I can't breathe." Now it's ACAB, all cops are bastards. Alright, yeah, I guess you guys can hear the chants. You have a water bottle in there? Sorry. I don't know if this theater is called the Broadway Theater, or it's a Rite Aid. I guess it used to be a theater. Now it's a Rite Aid. Now we're turning off of East Olive onto Broadway. Protesters continuing to direct traffic. If you can't hear the man, or I think it's actually a woman who's on the microphone. I keep wanting to call him a man, but I believe it's a woman who's been leading much of the protests, particularly during the blockade of the northbound 5 on-ramp and during the protest outside the police building downtown. This, again, I believe woman was just talking about people who are up in these buildings and contrasting them with the protesters down on the streets on a daily basis. I presume you can't hear most of what they're saying right now. It looks like there's a bus stopped here, or was stopped because of the protesters. This looks like a city bus. Looks like it was stopped by the protesters and sort of still is. They're telling the bus driver to say Black Lives Matter.
And he's a piece of shit.
So this protester is saying, "You're on my time," to the bus driver, and had some expletives for him. Alright, the protesters have walked away from that bus. That bus is now driving off. I just stepped in a pothole, and we're trailing the marchers chanting, "No justice, no peace, no racist police." The protester was telling the bus driver to say Black Lives Matter. Again, we're on Broadway and now crossing East Denny Way. some traffic narrowly driving by the protest. Those horns honking may have been in support, I'm not sure. And now it looks like we're back in the Capitol Hill neighborhood because we have the Capitol Hill station right here. So we should be very close to CHOP. The chant is, say his name George Floyd, say her name Breonna Taylor. No justice, no peace, no racist police. See, we're getting closer to CHOP. Or at least it's looking like we're getting closer to CHOP. Thank you very much, Teresa. No, I'm not from Seattle. This is day one for me in Seattle, as I said early on in this broadcast. Oh, so there's a bus, and they're saying he has no choice because I guess this is more of a cable car. You can see he's hooked into the cables here and is heading. Well, we have another standoff between protesters directing traffic and a bus or cable car.
Does he not look black to you? Okay. Hey, let's stop the supervisor. He's coming. Hey!
So here we go. Standoff, protester, and
Damn right it's a fucking protest.
cable car. So the driver just said out the window, "Black Lives Matter." She may be black. Is she black? Oh, and you can see there's at least one person on this. What's the trolley? I'm saying cable car. It's not. I guess a trolley bus. So now the protesters are speaking with this woman who may be the supervisor of bus traffic around here. I'm not sure, but they're saying that they're going to talk to the driver's supervisor. Oh, they turned left this way. Oh, my bad. I'm hearing them over there, but they went this way. So let's go straight ahead. What's that? And they may be in the park. They're homeless people sleeping outside. I don't know what this building is, but I'm not going to put them on camera. Oh, is this Cal Anderson Park? Okay, I think we've made it back to Cal Anderson Park. Yeah, it looks like this march has wrapped up at Cal Anderson Park, which is a hub for residents of the CHOP, contributors to the CHOP. It's definitely a gathering place for people in the CHOP. So here we are at Cal Anderson Park. The people gathered right here are the ones who are marching all this time. We were marching with, and they're having a little talk. And let's head over and walk through Cal Anderson Park and let's see what's going on here. It's like some soccer or some balls being thrown and picked. This is where the speeches were taking place early on in the broadcast. And indeed, the man who was giving a speech early on in this broadcast turned out to be correct when he said that there would be a march and that the march would be going on to the freeway. That's loud. So I guess this is a generator. Yeah, there's a soccer ball out here. We've got both a turf soccer field and baseball fields. Actually, 2 turf baseball fields. One here, one there. We're right in the middle of a little soccer kick-around. And here's one of the tents as a soccer ball flies over my head. Here's one of the tents. I believe this is the hospitality tent that they were talking about earlier and praising during the demonstrations. Also, they were talking about facing obstruction from the city forcing them to move the hospitality tent or shut it down. I'm not sure what exactly they were referring to. But pretty calm out here right now. As you can see, lots of tents set up surrounding the soccer field and baseball diamonds. Earlier, Annabelle was describing the gardening, which is taking place right on the other side of these trees. A lot of gardening over there. And I'll show you some of the signs, I guess, at this baseball diamond. I'm not gonna film inside any occupied tents, that's for sure. I know you're not supposed to film the medic's tent, but I haven't heard anything about prohibition of filming an unoccupied hospitality tent. And for those of you who aren't familiar, weren't listening earlier, this park, Cal Anderson Park, has been used as a meeting point for residents and contributors to CHOP. They gather out here, give speeches, listen to speeches, make announcements, discuss strategy, and a whole lot more. Yeah, I don't plan on filming inside any occupied tents. And I'm probably not going to be filming much in the way of tents altogether, but maybe if there's some people who want to go on camera, then let them do so. That was very much the attitude. I think we ain't done yet. That was very much the attitude being conveyed among speakers today here out at Cal Anderson Park in response to the city of Seattle declaring its intentions to break up CHOP. Quite a few black and trans lives matters, like this sign. I've seen those on the streets inside CHOP as well. I'll probably do a video or a stream in the coming days in which we do more Q&A. Again, this is day one for me out here, and I arrived with the news that the city intends to put an end to CHOP. So I'm out here trying to see what all I can see, listen to all the speeches I can listen to, hopefully speak with participants in the so-called organized protest, and then relay that information back to you. And no, I do not want to get shot while out here. As I said in the beginning, I'm aware this was called Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, but the name has since been changed to CHOP, the Capitol Hill Open Protest. There's also an adjacent skate park. Not over here to film the skaters so much as to give you a look at this sign. The park's name is Cal Anderson. Forget, is this Pine or Pike Street? Pine. All right, so we're stepping out of the park, but we're gonna take a little trip through CHOP, excuse me. Here's an entrance like the one I filmed, or a couple I filmed early on in this broadcast. The entrance barricades in all directions state the demands of CHOP. So you can see this barricade here, the artwork, someone standing guard right next to the sign with the demands in front of the barricade. And I don't know how long I'll be here. And we're gonna head up Pine Street into a more active part of the CHOP, and we're a block and a half away from the abandoned Seattle Police Department East Precinct, where there were people gathered as that march started, and people stayed put. I don't know how many, but it seemed like a fairly large crowd stayed put outside the precinct as we headed off on that march. See the flashing red lights at this intersection. No vehicle traffic coming through, barricaded off. A lot of furniture set up as well. Couches out on the street, along the edge of the park. All kinds of artwork here. So here's one of the signs I was mentioning earlier. We're on East Pine Street, which you can see here, but there have been other street signs erected. Like here, I didn't notice this one before. It says George Floyd Way. This one says Black Lives Matter Street, and there are multiple Black Lives Matter street signs that have been erected here on Pine Street. A street that leads up to the abandoned police precinct. A lot of tents set up on the sides of the street. I'm not filming these tents. There are people in and around them.
Well, you might be right, but I don't know for sure. But that being said, you know, I mean, it's still...
We're now coming back up on the abandoned police precinct building. Which, by the way, the city of Seattle has announced it intends to take back. And I'm about to show you again the abandoned police precinct building. Here it is. Boarded up, covered in lots of signs and tagging. So not filming you. Here. What did it say again here? It's hard to read, but it's something like it's our property now.
This space is now
Our property or something like that. This space is now property of the Seattle something people. Yeah, this space is now the property of the Seattle people. Again, I've got photos of this precinct on my Instagram at Nomad Journalist. Over on the 12th Avenue side of the building, not a bunch of people seated out front, so I can give you better shots. So the sign says Seattle Police Department East Precinct, but ACAB written over it, Fuck 12 written over it, and people written over police. And I showed this early on in the very beginning of the broadcast when it was still light out. Lots and lots of signs here on this abandoned East Precinct building. I might note that during the speeches at Cal Anderson Park this evening, there was talk of using this precinct building as a bargaining chip in negotiations with the city. Down 12th Avenue is another entrance to CHOP. Of course, barricaded off traffic, and it has their demands, which I've already shown. I think I've also Instagrammed out a photo of an entrance to CHOP with the demands. Crowd gathered here in the intersection of Pine and 12th. Not going to be zooming in on anyone, but I will, from a little bit of a distance, give you a look at the abandoned precinct building. So you can see it's 2 stories, and I'm not sure if it fronts on 12th or Pine, but their entrance is boarded up on both 12th and Pine. I missed some. Didn't see who it was, but someone was saying to reach out about potential PTSD. Thank you very much for that. I didn't see who that was who was calling for that. But here's another Black Trans Lives Matter sign. Like I was saying, I've seen several of these. This is another talking point during some of the speeches. Stop gentrification. It is anti-black. I don't know how well you guys can see that. There's bad lighting here. Gentrification during speeches this evening. People gathered, sitting, talking.
Everyone here, you get geolocated.
Likewise, people standing, walking around. Oh, sorry. What's that? Navy bean? What? Oh, there are beans here. So there's a man telling me that there's, I think, a navy bean barricade. I don't know what's he talking about. There are beans on top of this barricade. Lots of, are these soup cans? It's like soup cans. Other canned food lined up here. Pretty calm at the moment, but for those of you who've been following the news, there have been problematic incidents here the past couple nights. No, we're not over at the garden right now. There is a big garden, and if you missed it early on in the broadcast, when this broadcast is complete, you can watch the stream. And I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes into the broadcast, before the march started and the gathering in front of the precinct started, I walked into the garden and Annabelle was talking about some of the gardening taking place. Again, this building right here is the abandoned East Police Precinct here in Seattle that the city intends to take back. And the protesters do not want to give up, or are considering using as a bargaining chip in order to get the city to make concessions on their demands. See a liquor and wine store here.
You don't live in this neighborhood, I do. You gotta be careful how you talk. I'm a 6-year-old man who lives in
Somewhat of a verbal altercation right now that I'm staying away from. Somewhat of a verbal. Here's another 12th Avenue entrance to CHOP. Well, I just barricaded myself in. I'll go around. Lighting should be fine for you to read this sign. So let's back up a little bit. It sounds like this verbal altercation in the middle of 12th and Pine has turned to someone involved in the altercation chanting aggressive, aggressive, aggressive at someone on the other side of the argument. I don't know what it's over. Likewise, the ACAB on the barricade. Here's a look at the street. Very artsy district at Capitol Hill, that is. And I believe it was so even before CHOP, or Chaz as it was initially called, was set up. Over here we've got one boarded up door on an entrance to a building. Abolished the police, BLM. Again, right now we're just outside of CHOP, just outside the entrance and barricade to CHOP on 12th Avenue on one side of the abandoned police precinct. You want to talk for a little bit? I don't know who Austin Zone is. Sorry, I don't know who Austin Zone is. But I guess I just mentioned his name, so maybe he win. Let's walk around to the other side of the CHOP on 12th Avenue. This place has its own rules of engagement, so to say, and no, I'm not going to be zooming in on individuals in a crowd like this. If there's a big demonstration with speeches being delivered, then I think it's alright to film the person giving a speech to a large crowd, but I'm not going to zoom in on someone standing in this crowd, for instance. A lot of tents. What did you see in some of these tents earlier? Okay, these aren't like secret tents, right?
No, those
right
are
over here.
just artist
This is
tents.
Annabelle talking.
Right. I don't know if you can see. So these are just set up some artsy tents, there's art supplies for everybody to I don't know, paintbrush and paint any color they want, and then the artists walk painted the street.
Yeah, it's definitely an artsy part of Chaz. I guess all of Chaz is artsy, but the more artsy focused part of
I'm
Chaz.
not sure if this is kind of a kitchen or something, because they're having plates and pots.
So here as Annabelle calls them the restrooms, I was going to call them the outhouses. We have a CHOP council plus black leadership meetings. Yeah, as I was saying, the Cal Anderson Park, and as I showed you earlier, is used as a meeting point and a place to make announcements. I guess this is the wash station for the restroom, as you call it. You being Annabelle. You can see these tents that Annabelle was talking about. These aren't secretive tents. Oh yeah, donation drop off right here. It looks like this building that says cinema on it is half in CHOP, half out of CHOP. It's got some boards on it, lots of signs and artwork. There's a co-op sign. Let's circle around. So here's the other 12th Avenue barricade. ACAB, of course.
White silent is violence. Teachers for Black Lives.
Do you know who Austin Zone is? Can you look who Austin Zone is? You know you, yes. So, what are you up to? What brings you out to CHOP? Because you're eating. We're waiting. Okay, I'll let you eat. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Whenever you're ready.
Where did you read Austin Zone?
I don't know if it's a troll or not, but someone.
All right, there we go.
Okay, you've got the floor. Whatever you want to say.
Well, my advice to viewers would be...
I'm going to point it a little closer so they hear you.
My advice to viewers would be to take everything you hear with a grain of salt and to remain skeptical. And that if you have any questions about CHOP, you should come up here and see it. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, maybe you'll lend a hand. Maybe we need you here, maybe we don't. So, I don't know.
Have you been living here in CHOP?
No, I've been almost commuting here. I've been coming every night for most nights to help man the barriers and do security, as well as help with first aid. I'm an EMTB and have some experience from the military, so I was trying to put my skills to some good use in helping people.
I guess you've been quite needed in recent days. Not focus on that. I'm just curious.
That's flattering.
I'm just curious.
Turns out when the shooting happened, I wasn't even here. I was at home resting. So
I was gonna ask you, what's it like in the good moments? What's it like in not so good moments out here at night?
It's really cool. It's mostly really, really quiet. It's nice seeing the city so peaceful at night and stuff. And it gets a little bit tense sometimes, but it's nice seeing all the different people that flow through too and stuff.
Were the past 2 nights really rarities, and were most nights out here very peaceful?
That's what I would say, but I don't know what my words were because I wasn't here the last couple nights.
But you were here for a lot of nights prior, and You found it to be
Peaceful,
or
very
like,
peaceful.
well, how would you? I don't want to put words in your mouth. How would you describe the atmosphere here at night?
Quiet, in a word.
But a lot of people gathered still.
Depends. Not at 5 o'clock in the morning. But still quite a bit of traffic until maybe about 2 or 3. But after that, really, really quiet, dead quiet. It's nice.
I guess some of the people are saying it's a little hard to hear you over the background noise, but I think they'll hear for the most part what you're saying.
Mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's on my end. That's not on your end. But and what brought you out to begin with? Why did you want to volunteer and CHOP, and why did you want to be part of it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've been looking at my own motivations. It feels like something important. It feels like something I can help with somewhere where I might be able to do some good. I don't know. A little bit of like, I guess, kind of vulgar tourism a little bit too. I wanted to be here and see what was happening. Kind of state my own curiosity, but try to be bigger than that, I guess.
So
anarchism too. I'm a dedicated anarchist. I also believe in a free Cascadia and a free and independent Pacific Northwest. So any sort of secession thing that also really lured me, but I guess it's not about that.
I think that would probably.
I also hate racism too.
That would probably interest some members of the audience, though, who maybe they hear anarchism and they're trying to determine whether this is like a anarcho-capitalist type of movement or something totally in a
capitalism. You said a dirty word around here.
Explain, please, because I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to hear what the sentiments
nice. It's
are.
Socialism, it's communism, everything's free here. Yeah, there's no capitalism here.
What about? Oh no, sorry. Before I ask you that next question.
At least not the bad type of capitalism, but there's more barter.
I did see some guys selling hot dogs and saying that the hot dogs.
Can't begrudge a man his business.
Yeah.
Furthest right, people find here are social democrats.
Can I bring you on or no?
Yeah.
My voice.
Oh, he's just the.
They're not going to hear you so well.
No one's going to. If you're further right than a social, nobody's going to want you here. So, I mean, this is an anti-capitalist experiment.
So you're saying it's anti-capitalist, and if people are to the right of a social democrat?
I'm not saying anything like that. Like, you can come down here, if you get along with people, that's good. If you support it, that's good. That's but, like, ideologically, yeah. No. That's where we're going to be from, obviously.
You're not...
Whether that be anarchist or communist or whatever, like... anybody is welcome down here, of course. But... as for, like, where it comes from, yeah.
So you're talking about the ideological roots and what most of the participants
I can't
tend to
speak
believe.
for everybody here either. This is BLM, so
Everything here is voluntary. There's any sort of leadership structure whatsoever. So
you're
everyone here is speaking as an individual.
No one's gonna try to
no consensus here in the first place, much less anyone to express it. So.
Let me ask this last one, then Annabelle can take over. So you've got a really unique role, and now the city says it doesn't want this to exist anymore. So how do you see things moving forward?
I don't know. Peacefully, I think. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Are you concerned that the city's going to use force to try to take the area
I'm sure
back?
the city is absolutely looking for any excuse to use force, yeah. But I'm not concerned about it.
Because you're confident in yourself, you're confident in the movement, the people, or what? Or that the city's going to make themselves look bad?
Well, the city doesn't have to do much to make itself look bad, but there's a reason they haven't done anything yet. So I'm confident that things haven't really changed that much. Whatever they're saying, it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's actually changed the situation.
All right, well, Annabelle, you get to ask.
Oh, so yeah, I'm wondered about, about all the art that nobody put a signature. Yeah, but this is kind of like a social art community project.
Isn't it
because-
interesting? It's fascinating,
yeah, you
right?
know, because I see that nobody puts their signature underneath, so nobody is very egotistical about having rights over this. So yeah.
Beautiful, right? Yeah. That's one thing I didn't mention is do all art and everything. It's funny how sometimes conflict really brings out the best people have to offer creatively. Not necessarily violence and strife.
And where do you get all the art supplies? I
It's
mean,
all
is it
donated.
sponsored or
All
donor? Yeah.
donated, yep.
Wow. You guys have great donors for that.
It's
There's
amazing,
a
yeah.
lot of paint buckets that I saw out there.
All sorts of stuff. Spray paint, you name it. Relatively well supplied. Everybody brought whatever they could. I emptied out my covers and stuff and brought a whole bunch of different goodies. That's cool.
Any last questions?
No.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, hey, I need you. Would you give me the courtesy of the same? Because I actually have a whole set of questions here and everything. I could fucking grab one of you guys for just a minute.
Sure.
Okay, cool. You want to look at the questions first?
I'll be around the corner.
Sam, can you play Lightning for me?
So yeah, there you guys go. Interview with someone working the security shift right now here at CHOP. And the second person who's chiming in, I believe, is also working the same security shift, but he requested that I not show his face on camera, and probably could hear a bit of what the second man was saying when he chimed in, and I pointed the camera down. There tend to be, not at all of them, but these entrances and barricades, there tend to be people working security. I think more so at night than during the day. A little more that I haven't already shown you of this entrance and barricade on 12th Avenue, right by the abandoned police precinct. I was just at 12th and Pine, and I've been at 12th and Pine quite a few times during this broadcast. Annabelle. Annabelle. She's fine, don't worry.
Do you have any worries about the near future? What do you think so far about Jack's outbreak on Main Street?
She's doing a little interview right now, and I was just listening in on it. And I'll let that finish up. But I've already shown much of the street.
Oh, and is it for YouTube channel or documentary? What's your channel?
Do you guys want to plug your channel on my stream?
Here we go. Just my information. That's on waterproof paper too, so yeah, in case. My Instagram and Facebook, and if you need my personal phone, so I should have this up.
Well, you can
later tonight.
You can tell my audience likewise.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is, shoot me an email or text or something. Let me know your guys' channel and stuff.
I'm the Josh Friedman channel.
Okay.
That's my name. That's my Friedman. But what
so
about
you're
what about
Psycho 556?
Yep. Except the it's
oh,
zero.
that's it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Because
so
Psycho
it's
was taken. So
what's your YouTube channel?
It's Cascadian Rangers.
All right,
Cascadian Rangers.
Cascadian Rangers. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Lovely. Thank you so much, guys.
You got any comments? All right, so I see we're about 4 hours into the stream, and I'm about ready to wrap it up. At the beginning, I showed you a look in and around the CHOP while there was still daylight. Then we headed on over to the Cal Anderson Park to listen in on some speeches, and then saw the gathering outside the East Precinct, which we ditched, and then tagged along the march into downtown onto the I-5 and back to the CHOP. Now, this is day one of my coverage here. I don't know. 13th and Pine? What's that 13th and Pine? I'm saying 13th and Pine. Look, we
are on Pike, not on Pine.
No, Pine's right over there. But I don't know. What's up with 13th and Pine? That's outside the zone. 12th, yeah, they're just getting it wrong. 12th and Pine. Look, we'll walk over to 12th and Pine. I'm not zooming in on anyone, but there's really not much going on. There was some little verbal altercation earlier. It sounds like that got resolved. There are people gathered in the intersection at 12th and Pine, but not a whole lot happening at the moment. Anyway, I think I've already recapped what we've done on this stream. There were some tense moments, like outside the police station downtown briefly, and when cars were turned away on the northbound 5 on-ramp, as well as when there's a truck that drove through the barricade, which I filmed. And oh yeah, maybe something was thrown out of one of those windows at the protesters. Apparently I got that on camera. So there were some moments that got a little tense. Here's 12th and Pine. We've got some music. People playing some music in the intersection. People standing in the intersection. People sitting in the intersection. Again, this is the police precinct that I've shown you so many times. But I'm gonna wrap up. Oh, and go figure, the Love BLM is in the background. I don't know if we ever figured out which building that is. But I'm not done here, so I don't know when the next stream will be, but I'll be out here in and around CHOP for I don't know how long, but for now I'm here, and I'm not leaving tomorrow. So I'll definitely be monitoring what's going on. The city's talking about breaking this up. We don't know what's going to happen. Joey, I don't know. This is a developing situation. I don't know what's going to happen next. Will the city use force to break this up? I don't know. Could negotiation lead to CHOP ceasing to exist and simultaneously the city caving to various demands of the protesters? I don't know what will happen, but at least for now, I'm here in Seattle and I'll try to be reporting to you on whatever's taking place here. So thank you very much for everyone who's been tuned in this evening. I'm glad I get to show you, at least tonight, and hopefully in the near future, very near future, what's going on here in the CHOP and around the CHOP and around Seattle with regard to the protest action. So stay tuned, more to come. Do you have any last remarks? Thank you to Annabelle.
Oh. No, I'm exhausted.
Your channel. What's your channel?
Oh, so I think you find it on
I'll link your channel in the description after this video processes.
So it's Romika Annabelle.
There you
Probably
go.
when you put my name on Romika Annabelle, you will find it.
Romika Annabelle. There's your channel. Romika Annabelle. Yeah. It's been a long day. But that's okay. Shalom to the trolls and sincere commenters. So stay tuned. Obviously, there will be more live and on-the-ground reports, as I usually say, from around the world, but for now, from Seattle, Washington. So good night from just outside the CHOP, and see you sometime soon in and around the CHOP here in Seattle. All right, take care.